is Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and Jasmine from the Jasmine brand is here.
Yes.
And Roland Martin is here.
What's up?
And we have the pleasure of welcoming for the first time Dee Barnes. Hey, Dee Barnes.
What's up? What's up, you guys? Thank you so much for having me. This is awesome.
And exclusive.
And exclusive.
Exclusive.
Yes, Roland actually broke the news on Way Up with Angela Yee. Let's break it again if people didn't hear it.
That's right. So, Dee, we've launched a new show with her called The Frequency with Dee Barnes. Right now it's a weekly, but eventually it will be a daily show. Once Dee gets her sea legs in terms of just the frequency of no pun intended. But yeah, so it was last year when I hit Dee out of the blue on Twitter, and I was like, "Yo, what are you doing?" And then she told me, and I was like, "Well, what do you want to do?" And then I said, "Hey, I got an idea. I think you'd be great for it." And then for some reason, she took about 2-3 weeks to hit me back. I'm like, what the hell?
She had to marinate on it.
Like, what the hell is taking so long? And so then she hits me back and she says she wasn't going to do it. I was like, is she out of her mind? And so
who says no to Roland Martin?
Precisely. And then we had, then I said, okay, fine. And then I was like, no, it's not fine. So then I came back and I was like, let's have another conversation.
Right.
And it was, and so
Roland loves a challenge.
And
so
well, one of the things
you told me no.
Right, precisely. Yeah. But one of the things I told Dee, I said, I am very good at, what's the phrase I used? I said, I'm very good at not fixing people. I said, but unblocking them.
Okay.
Unblocking them.
So there are a lot of people who call me for advice and counsel, for help. And so I'm like, okay, what's blocking you from doing something?
Okay.
So we then begin having this conversation. And what actually did it, I said, okay, Dee, here's, I think, what's going on. Because she was like, I want to focus on getting this documentary done and get my book done. I said, look, those are long-term projects.
Right. You can still do that.
I said, you're somebody trying to swim to that island, and I'm in a boat.
Yep.
You can get to the island a lot faster, Dee.
Get a Noah's
by getting your ass in this boat.
Well, okay, let's hear
versus you trying to swim, and she was like, and then your response, Dee, you were like,
I was like, genius.
Now, Dee, before we even hear your side, let's talk about some Dee Barnes history, because you actually have experience hosting, right? And so I want to make sure that people are aware of that. Talk about some of the people you've interviewed.
Oh man, my background is in hip hop, as you know, grew up on that. So everyone in hip hop you could possibly imagine, especially now we celebrating the hip hop 50. So, I got to start off with the women, of course, Queen Latifah, Moni Love, Salt and Pepper.
All my favorites.
All my favorites, right? And then we move on to, Nikki D. Got to shout out my girl, Nikki D. And then we move on to a lot of the men, LL Cool J, Run DMC. I had the honor, when Jam Master Jay was here, rest in peace. I was just thinking about the Beastie Boys today because, it's the anniversary of Adams passing. So, there's, just
you
everybody in the game.
Yeah, it was called Pump It Up.
Yes, the show was called Pump It Up. It was on Fox, and this is like In Living Color. This is like pre-Martin. This is back in the day.
Wow.
All right. So what happens to all that footage now? Because I saw they did the Video Music Box documentary. So with all the footage, because it was on Fox, with Pump It Up, is there anything that you can do with that?
Man, I've been documenting it, Angela, and I'm telling you, I've been getting so much rejection. I think it's, just being a woman in this industry, like they're just not really taking me seriously. And the fact that I was conscious enough to document the history, because it was important to me. It was not important to Fox. And I documented, my three years there. And I have a lot of footage that's just, waiting to be, presented.
Ooh.
And I pitched it to a lot of people. We're not going to mention no names. And, it's been, back to back. No,
this feels like a gold mine to me.
Right.
Well,
I said it feels like a gold mine and a no-brainer to me.
Well,
it's history too. You know what I mean? It's a lot of history. A lot of these artists aren't here anymore. I get emotional when I think about like Heavy D. I have a lot of footage of Heavy D. I was just talking to G Wiz, on Instagram, excuse me, and we both got emotional thinking about it because somebody had posted some footage of the first show we did. And this was like on the original Fox lot that's not even there anymore.
How did a show like this even make it to Fox? Because like you said, they didn't really see the value while you were documenting all of this to know what this would turn into. But how did it even land there at that time?
Well, you know how most networks do. They take Black content to build up their network. And so that's exactly what they did. They saw the value in the advertisement, dollars, but they didn't see any value in the people in the show. They didn't really even have a clue who the artists were. So they saw that advertisement, and they got a lot of money that came in from Pump It Up, and then they spread it out to other shows. So, it wound up there just because they wanted to get into the rap game, basically. And they wanted that advertisement, and the money did roll in from that, but they didn't put it on the show. As a matter of fact, the more money that came in, the less and less our budget got.
Wow.
I want to go back to the no. Here's why this is important, because when Dee and I were talking, and she was like, all these people, they said they would help with this documentary, with this book. And what I said to her, I said, it was something that the late John Ware, he was the city manager of Dallas, told me. And he went to Tom Hicks Investment Fund. And John told me, and I would always call John, and he would say, Roland, all these ideas are great. He said, but the most important thing you need is a platform. And so I said, Dee, I said, everything that you want to do can happen, but you need a platform to launch it from.
Right.
And that's why I said you really should think about doing this show. And I said, because again, there's short term, there's mid-term, then there's what's long term. I said, then once you launch the show, now you're back in the game. Now you're talking to people. Now all the things that you used to do. I said, because the reality is, I said, this should be Dee Barnes 2.0. I said, your life, your story should not stop with what happened with Dr. Dre. This is an opportunity to now say, no, let me now go next level. And I said, you do this, all those other things. I said, we don't have to ask others for this because we can do them. I don't have to ask somebody, hey, can you do a documentary, when we literally can do it?
Yeah.
But we got to do this first.
No, I feel you. And were you familiar with Roland before he approached you? Did you know him? Did y'all know each other?
Yes.
Okay.
No, we didn't know each other, but I did know him, and I was very familiar with him and the network, as a matter of fact. And it's funny, but with everything he said, I had a conversation with Fab Five Freddy, and he reiterated everything. He was like, Dee.
Because Fab and I had a conversation, and I was like, Fab, bro.
Right.
I was like,
my brother Fab Five Freddy really set me straight. He was like, yo, let me holler at you, sis.
Well, Dee, what was holding you back? Because I can imagine, and I said this to Roland behind the scenes, there has to be like being jaded from this industry, just from everything that's happened and promises that were made, and then people not keeping up their end of the bargain, and just...
Angela, pick me out some lottery numbers, girl, because you hit it. That was exactly it. I felt like I had wanted it for so long, and it didn't happen, that I had moved on. I moved on from it. I just was like, it was like something like I felt like I outgrew, even though I think I was really suppressing it. And when I met Jackie, Dr. Jackie Martin, she really set me straight and helped me get balance. And, her show was called A Balanced Life. And man, she mentored me so well, so smoothly too, that it really, it helped finish unblocking me. Basically,
what's the biggest thing that you've learned in terms of working with Dr. Jackie or is it Dr. Jackie?
Yeah,
Dr. Jackie.
I call her Dr. Jackie.
Okay.
Yes, it's Jackie Martin.
She Reverend Doctor. She doctor.
Yeah, Reverend Doctor.
She got papers.
Yeah, what's the most helpful thing that she kind of helped you unblock?
The biggest thing she helped me unblock was that imposter syndrome. You've heard of that imposter syndrome. Yes, we worked through that, and she did it indirectly. It's hard to explain. She did it indirectly, but she gave me some tips and some points and some things to really marinate on and think about. So we would talk, and then I would think about everything she said and come back like, you were right, this, that, and the other thing. So I can't really get into all the details because it was very, very emotional for me.
Right.
She helped me get through it.
And the other thing is, we're working with Joe Cheatwood, is that initially D was like so locked into hip hop. And I needed her to understand, and I got it. I totally got it. I said, but D, this is not a hip hop show. So I need you to expand your perspective and horizon, because your story, you can talk about, again, economics and dealing with hard stuff and homelessness. And I said, you can talk about I said, it's so many things you can talk about. I said, so don't be narrow. Right. I said, I need you to think expansive. I said, because you're going to be 5 days a week. Yeah. I said, so don't be narrow in your thinking.
So what is this show if you had to describe it?
My show is basically a talk show that's like at the intersection of empowerment and acknowledgement. I really want to use this platform that Roland has given me the opportunity to have to uplift women. That was something that, I couldn't do back in the days consistently. And now I can. And I really want to focus on issues that affect women, in particular Black women. That's the show, basically. It's like my favorite poetry by Sonia Sanchez, which is Homegirls and Hand Grenades. You know what I'm saying? It's homegirls talking, but we having some explosive conversations.
How did you all come up with the name of the show?
I know that's always a good story when you think about, like, how did we come up with Frequency?
They did. I hadn't listened. I was very clear.
For me, Frequency is about raising the vibration. You got a lot of, you remember that whole thing that was going around on Twitter, that low vibrational.
Right. That low vibration plate. Yeah.
Right.
You got to get her on.
We're inundated every day with negativity. We just had what was going on in New York on the subway with that man being choked out. You know what I mean? It's just like every day we hear some negative things about the world. And so I want to do something where it's like positive, where we're uplifting and, you learn. I want to elevate and educate at the same time. This is when you get a second chance to do something, it's like, you got to do it right. And, the blessing to be coming back on Black owned media. You can't tell me there's no God. God is good.
Roland, what made you know that D would be perfect for this?
No, it was a Friday. It was straight up. I was following her, looking at her tweets, and I said, I see this show. I know what it can be, and I'm like, we're gonna do it. And so it's instinct. So listen, there are probably 30 or 40 people who you see right now on cable news, who I put on TV first. Who came through, who I mentored, who I've shared with, taught, and they've gone on to do great things. Tiffany Cross's first TV, when she was behind the scenes, on air, was on my show. Right. Angela Rye, Shermichael Singleton, Paris Denard, Gianna Amico, Republicans, Democrats, doesn't matter. And so I'm always Tiffany Lofton. I'm always looking for interesting people. So what was interesting to me was the story. And I said, if D can, yes, deal with the trauma, deal with the PTSD, tap into all of her, I said it could blow people away and really help people who listen. And that's the most important thing for me. And it also was an opportunity to say, I looked at all these people, the no's. I saw all those stories. And I saw what she was like, and then we talked. She was like, well, Wendy promised this, nothing happened. This person. And I said, this would be dope to provide the opportunity to see her succeed. But so with the pressing, when I called Fab Five, I was like, bruh, I said, she has to take the shot.
Right.
She has to take the shot. And she, she wasn't believing in herself. And there have been, and she'll admit, there have been several come to Jesus moments with Joel where it was like, yo, D, we straight up, we going. We got to go. And it was like, and she was like, okay, but it was like, yo, this is the moment.
Yeah, you deserve
Seize
this.
it.
Hold on. It wasn't that I wasn't believing in myself. I just wasn't believing in others.
No, right. But I was saying it, but it still is, but to believe in others still requires you to say, okay, I got to have faith. And my whole point is, we're strong. Going. My deal is like, no, we're going. D, let's go. We think you can do this. Let's go. And it was and that's where the encouragement coming in, because you have to actually get someone to not only believe in themselves but to believe in you and to go, no, I'm not gonna let you down.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Now, what about you and Fab Five Freddy's relationship? So that's somebody that throughout all this time you still can speak to and trust.
Oh yes, I mean one of the very, very few that I can still call, and he's always been real and truthful with me. We've actually truthful with each other, and he's watched me all through the years, and I've called him and talked about lots of things, and he's definitely one of my favorite brothers.
Well, the first episode. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, I was saying I just have a few brothers like that, and he's definitely one of them at the top.
He was funny too, Angela. He was like, "Okay, Ro, I talked to D. I think she's straight. She gonna call.
I love it.
She gonna call you." He's like, "Yo, I told her, D."
Straight up.
He
Get on the boat.
He cracked right. He was like, "Yo, I think I got her.
That's so funny. I love it.
Now, your first guest on Frequency is Alicia Garza, right?
Yes.
So talk about what went into you saying, okay, this is who I want as my first premiere debut episode.
While I was going through the whole imposter syndrome, there was 2 books that I read that really pulled me over the finish line. And one of them was Ride or Die, The Feminist Manifesto for the Well-Being of Black Women by Shanita Hubbard. And the other one was the Purpose of
Power.
Oh my God, I'm forgetting Power.
The Power of Purpose.
The Power of Purpose.
Yeah.
Yes, sorry. Alicia's book. And after reading those books, I was like, I gotta talk to Alicia. You know what I mean? Especially with things were going on with the negative image of Black Lives Matter. So I really wanted to see where her thoughts were on that. And I also did a panel with her about the Me Too movement, in particular with Black women in Hollywood. And so all those things combined, I said Alicia would be the perfect guest. And this goes back to what Roland was saying about, my heart is in hip hop, but I do have a really broad base of people that I know. People in Hollywood, actresses, directors, a lot of these people in my phone, that I talk to every once in a while that have supported me over the years, because, I was unhoused for 3 years. And a lot of these people supported me behind the scenes and, help me pay for a hotel room or help me get food, help me get gas at the time when my car was, running. You know what I mean? So I'm able now to go back to them and say, hey, look, I have this platform. I would love for you to come on. And they're right there for me. And they said, we've been waiting, D. We've been rooting for you. And that just you know what I mean? That brings you through. Because my story, what I've been through.
Yeah.
And it's been a long, long journey to get here. And I'm just grateful. And to come back on, Black Star Network.
Yeah. I'm glad for you to be stepping up and being like, I'm here. And
yeah.
Yes. I'm back outside.
we outside, baby.
We outside right now. I'm back outside. And I love it. And I'm so happy to be here with you, Angela. I mean, just this opportunity itself, I would have never had this if it wasn't for Roland, to sit here and talk to you and Jasmine. What?
No, we would have definitely anytime, had you on.
You got to come up here.
I love that.
I would love to.
I've always admired Roland and all the work that he's done. And so I always talk about that. And so I do think this is a great marriage. I believe that everything that he's done and from what he's been saying about you, even behind the scenes with you not on here, and then to see the connection that you guys have, I just feel like this is it.
We're excited.
And like he said, it'll be a great way for you to jumpstart all the things that you need to do for yourself.
Right. I'm just loving it and counting my blessings and just really, really grateful. You know what I mean? Roland just really, he sent me that life preserve, that life raft.
I was like, D, get in the boat, D.
Yeah.
Stop swimming. Get in the boat.
Backwards, it was so funny. I was dying. He was like, what you gonna do, drown? I'll send you a life raft. Get in the boat.
Now, mind you, Roland can't even swim,
at
so
all.
he got to get on the boat.
That's why I was in the boat.
At all.
I wasn't trying to swim.
That's what he was saying.
Crazy.
Now, so how often is this show? I know it's going to be a daily show, but tell us the rollout.
It'll be a weekly show for the first couple of months. I think y'all got 6-8 shows in the can.
Yes.
And
no, 10.
Okay, 10.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
I told you. So Joe Cheatwell and his team, they've been working with. Look, my whole deal was y'all go to work.
Yeah.
I haven't even seen the first episode.
Okay.
I was like, y'all go to work.
I was watching it today.
I'm trying to go get advertising money. Y'all go to work.
I know that's right.
So the first couple of months, we'll do it as a weekly, and then we'll go to 2 to 3 times a week. And my idea by September 1. Then it's a daily, because it's just as you know, a daily grind ain't the same as a weekly. So I mean, you gotta build up to that
stamina,
and you gotta and again, and as I think as more people become aware of the show, then all of a sudden other guest ideas, and then now you begin to pick it up. And that was and I was conscious of that, knowing full well how you have to build towards that, because we've had, I mean, Dee's been aboard now, I think 9 months now. So we've been in development,
right?
Just working on her stuff with Jackie, her stuff with Joe, just working on all that other stuff, because you can't get to the show unless you do all that.
Okay,
I'm with it.
All right, we love it. Well, it's so great to see you back behind the mic again, and I'm happy for you. And we'll be supporting you and paying attention. If there's any clips you want to send, you like, make sure you talk about this happened. We're here for it.
Congratulations.
All right. Thank you so much, you guys. I really appreciate your support, and I love you guys. I admire you so much. And it's just like, I'm over here fangirling a little bit. I just love it.
No, I am too. And next time you're in New York, come see us.
Oh, for sure. I'm coming through.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, Dee Barnes. Frequency. Oh.
I appreciate y'all. The Frequency. Watch it every Thursday on the Black Star Network, y'all.
Let's go.
Jasmine, where you going?
Sorry, I was stretching.
She got to catch a flight.
I got to catch a flight. I'm sorry.
Jasmine's just going to get up.
I didn't know.
It's all good.
You said the last thing, and then she started.
All good.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Thank you,
Roland.
Thank you so much.
She's going to find a coach bag.
I'm going to find a coach bag and fly coach.
The coach
All right.
The
coach story. All right, Dee, be well.
Thank you.